All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Monday. Hopefully, you guys are having a good day. We've got 10 NBA games. We're going to talk about each one, and I'll give you guys my leans and likes, and then I'll give you my best bets. And then, guys, baseball's back tomorrow. Holy shit. All right, we've got the Dodgers Cubs Tokyo series, 2 games, very early in the morning on Tuesday and Wednesday. I will be putting out that baseball video today, so we are going to have baseball bets. If you guys haven't joined me for baseball season, you're in for a ride. Baseball's my thing. So super excited for that. I've been doing a lot of research on that already. Put some things out already in the Discord. If you haven't joined, link is down below. Absolutely free to join. I do not charge for the Discord. Good day yesterday. I did not put up a betting card, so we're going to just have to make do today with a rigged version. So I'll talk a little bit about the results, but we had a good day. We went 2-1 in college basketball, and we went 3-2 in the NBA. Unfortunately, both the Rudy Gobert props we had tanked, but everything else hit. So all in all, profitable day. So we will take that. Let's get into this 10-game slate. Let's go ahead and walk through each game here. So first game on the card, Heat and the Knicks. We see the Knicks giving 7.5 points. At home, I can see it. So I would roll with the Knicks minus 7.5. I don't love it, but I would take it. Pistons and the Pelicans. A lot of injury news going on in that Pelicans game. I just don't feel confident taking anything Pelicans related. We've got Zion's a game time decision. Kelly Olynyk's a game time decision. Eve Missy is a game time decision. On the Detroit side of the ball, it's their normal rotation. So I don't see a reason 6.5 even on the road against the Pelicans team that frankly doesn't want to win. I'm cool with that. 76ers and the Rockets, we see 76ers plus 15.5. I would have to lean 76ers plus 15.5. I know they don't want to win and they're in full tank mode. 15.5 is a lot, not a spread I would touch. Pacers and the T-Wolves, we see the Pacers getting 7.5. No Pascal Siakam. That's a huge hit for this Pacers team. So Obi Toppin will be playing. I don't see any prop lines for Obi, but I do like his rebounds, whatever that comes out at. If you've watched Pacers game, Miles Turner is a lazy center and doesn't want to rebound. So Siakam kind of serves as that forward/center. So I would lean over for Obi. He is an effort guy. So I do like him today, but there are no lines. Ultimately, I would lean the Pacers plus 7.5. T-Wolves coming off a back-to-back, looked very good last night against a very bad team, had a blowout, but the Jazz didn't put up much of a fight. Bulls and the Jazz, speaking of the Jazz, give me the Bulls minus 5.5. Jazz are really bad, coming on a back-to-back. They're not going to play Markkanen most likely. We know we don't have Collins. They probably don't play Kessler. Collier's probably the only person that plays, so just a bad spot there for a Jazz team that's clearly tanking, as they've already gotten fined for tanking, essentially. Nuggets and the Warriors. Let's see. We've got the Nugs getting 4.5 against the Warriors. I don't love this matchup for the Warriors, so give me the Nuggets plus 4.5 on the road. Just the better team, in my opinion. Grizzlies and the Kings. No Ja Morant in this game, so we will have Luke Kennard starting at the point. Desmond Bane's essentially going to run the point here. We see the Grizz getting 2.5 on the road against the Kings. I think that's fair. I would actually lean towards the Kings at minus 2.5. Raptors and the Suns. Speaking of teams that don't want to win, one of these teams have to win. The Suns really need a win pretty desperately, so we see the Suns minus 8.5 going up against the Raptors, who have all kinds of injury / tanking concerns there, right? Will Jakob Poeltl play in a back-to-back? I don't know. Emmanuel quickly should be playing. RJ Barrett's probably a game-time decision if I had to guess. Scotty Barnes will be in the lineup. Suns desperately need a win. 8.5 is a lot. I would go Raptors plus 8.5. Suns have just looked terrible. Wizards and the Trailblazers, 2 teams, neither really want to win, but one has to win. Give me the Trailblazers minus 4.5. Wizards are doing a better job of tanking. If somebody's playing well, they just sit them. So Trailblazers minus 4.5 all day there. Spurs and the Lakers, we see the Spurs getting 8.5. I don't think that's enough. I think Luka's going to dominate. Austin Reeves, him and Austin Reeves look pretty good. Jackson Hayes throwing in some points in there. The bench players are looking pretty good. So Lakers -8.5. Go through, kind of look at each game real quick. Just some plays I was looking at didn't take. I think Towns rebounds, 12.5 is too high. We'll see this come down to 11.5. I almost put it on the card. -135 is pretty juiced. I want to see what happens when this drops, and it will drop to 11.5 on almost all these books at some point today, I'm sure. It's just how much is it juiced. Josh Hart, I kind of wanted to fade his rebounds. Didn't, but that is an angle I like. I think his assist line's a little too high as well, so it's all fade for me for him. Miles McBride has a good spot to get assist. 4.5 seems very doable. Actually, the lines have jumped a ton on this already. It wasn't up on a lot of books earlier. I would be okay taking his over 4.5 assists at -115. You can get it at -105 on ESPN Bet. I think that's a good spot there to take him. Nothing I really trust. On this side of the ball, I thought about fading his assist. I think it's a good spot, but again, it's pretty damn juiced. But you can get it fairly reasonable on DraftKings right now, -135. I think it's a good spot to fade Tyler Hero. In this Philadelphia-Houston game, the one play that's on the card, there's two plays on this card. We have Gershon Yabusele under his rebounds, and we have Tari Eason over his. 1 points prop I like is Fred VanVleet to go over his points today. It's -130 for 11.5. I think he should easily be able to cruise over that line. So almost put that on the card, but didn't. Got a really good matchup here. If we look at by position, 11 of 15 over. By his play style, 5 of 10. It's just a decent matchup where he should be able to dominate in this one. Now, Detroit game, there's a lot of unknowns. So I didn't spend a lot of time on this, to be honest, just because I need to know who's playing. Now, the one thing I do like, Cade Cunningham has a pretty bad scoring matchup. In my opinion, if we look by Props Madness, 6 of 15. If we look by position, 5 of 15. So he may have some success driving. He really hasn't been popping a ton of threes, so I kind of ignore that. If we look, it's probably 2.5, and he's favored to go under. It's 1.5, favored to go over. So he's going to get 2. Where are the other 22 points going to come from? But I think they're a little behind the 8 ball here in his rebounds plus assists. So I do like that. He's got a plus matchup for rebounds and assists. So that's where I'm at there. Indiana and Minnesota. I like Julius Randle over his rebounds today. Could look at Rudy. He doesn't really have a fantastic matchup. The books love it a lot. You look at Bovada and Pinnacle, 2 pretty sharp books. They like it. DraftKings -120. You got Bet365 -115. So wouldn't mind taking that. I just don't see the hit rates there that make me feel overly comfortable that he's going to hit that line. But I do like Julius Randle to go over 6.5 today. Tyrese Halliburton, I want to fade his assist. If we look, he's been on fire. He's been crushing it. And honestly, when you take out Pascal Siakam, so we could do games without Pascal, I thought this would go way down. If we look at last year without him, pretty damn good. 80% he was over. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me. We do have a really good position hit rate, and we do have a decent, similar play style hit rate here. So could be one you could take as over. I'm going to let this one evolve out during the day and kind of see as it shakes out. I want to make sure Obi Toppin's actually playing, and they're not going to try to throw like Bryant in there instead. So a couple angles there. Let's see. Chicago and Utah, we just don't have a lot of line. We don't know who's playing. Collier's rebound line, I was going to bang the 3.5 again. It's already up to 4.5, so I didn't like that. Assist, I like Vucevic under 3.5 assists. If we look at the books, -170, -160, and then Hard Rock, here's the outlier at -135. So I do like fading him. If you have Hard Rock, I would bounce on that. There is some hit rate there by his position style, but I think you gotta take that line. Memphis and Sacramento. Desmond Bane. I had Desmond Bane under 7.5 assists on the card. By the time I went to bed, it moved to 6.5. So GG. I love that under 7.5 too. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to have the easiest matchup today. We see his points lines pretty damn inflated because of that. You could look to go over. 23.5 is pretty juicy, I'll be honest. If you can get that, another Hard Rock one, I think he goes over his line. If we just look, he's got got a pretty damn good matchup to score today. Edey rebounds was another one that caught my eye at 7.5. It's a little low in my opinion. If we look, they're 6th in rebounds. When you throw Sabonis in there, it gets a little different. My only problem is I just don't know how many minutes he's going to play. The bonus rebounds 12.5. That's really low. That's also one I want to bang. But I have a feeling with Kennard in there and Bane, they're going to be popping a ton of threes. So the guy that's going to benefit the most on rebounds is going to be Keegan Murray. Unfortunately, all the value is gone already on his rebounds. So maybe use that as a parlay piece. But I do think he easily clears that 5.5. Jonas is on here. They might end up playing both of these guys together. I could see Jonas and Domantas playing together just because of the matchup here with the size with Jackson and Edey in the game. It just turns into a huge mismatch unless you have two bigs on the court. You could look at taking his over 5.5 rebounds. Pretty juiced at minus 140, but I do think he clears this line ridiculously easy. And we see the books think he does too. So that could be an angle there. Malik Monk over 5.5 assists. I like this spot. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but it seems he's got a good matchup to get assist. If we look by position, everything here lines up. So I do like Malik to go over his assists today, and we can get it at a pretty decent value. You can get it at plus 102 on FanDuel. Man, this is one I really want to put on the card. So you know what? We're putting this on the card. So I'm going to make this an official play on the card. So we're going to go Malik Monk plus 102 over his assists. That's just, I can't resist that anymore. Wanted to take, we have two lines here. I want to go Jokic over his rebounds. I just don't trust him, but I do think he covers. We know he gets up in big games and on the road. If we look away, he's got a 63.3% hit rate. Head-to-head, there's just not a whole lot. Last year, he had 16 on 18 chances, 9 on 14. They just pop so much threes for Golden State, though. I just don't want to trust them. Toronto and Phoenix, if we look, KD, I like his points. I had him in a little mini parlay, a little two-leg parlay yesterday to get 20 points. He had 4 at like halftime, and then he just came out and went nuts. This team doesn't win unless he's rolling, but I just don't see it there with positional hit rates and things like that. And the Raptors do a pretty decent job. So I'm going to fade that. Over 5.5 rebounds. I do like this spot for him. He's had to rebound more. Nick Richards is terrible. And Bol's not going to be in. So I do think there's an opportunity to take him over 5.5 rebounds. That was another play I had yesterday. Scotty is a complete fade for me. They don't want to win, man. Emmanuel over 4.5 assists. You can only get it on one book right now, but maybe, I don't know. Washington, Portland, I have no interest in that game. Unders, under 8.5 rebounds for Denny. That could be an avenue there. That's a decent amount of rebounds, man, but he's also playing a really shitty team. So a game where nobody wants to win, so it's a fade for me. There's just nothing I love here. And then last game on the card, Spurs and the Lakers. Austin Reeves over assist at 6.5 now. It's pretty juiced. Over 5.5, I'd be on board. If this is 5.5 rebounds, I'd fade towards his under here, minus 135, minus 125. I think you're getting pretty good value to fade him on the rebounds. But without LeBron, he's got a really good hit rate. But you add in with Luka, and 2 out of 3 missed yesterday. I don't know if Luka plays on a back-to-back, but I imagine he does. One play I do like on the card, Harrison Barnes over 1.5 threes. If we look without Wemby and Fox, he's over this in 5 of 8. So I do think this is a great spot for him to be popping some threes. Stephen Castle actually wasn't on here earlier. Wanted to look at his assist. That's pretty good. He's over in 6 of 8 without Wemby and Fox. He's got a good positional hit rate. I could definitely get down on this over 4.5 assists for him at plus money. I do think there is some value there today. Chris Paul is at, 7.5 in favor to go under, if I had to guess. 6.5. 6.5. Man, 6.5 is pretty juicy for him. If we look at the Lakers, they do give up a lot of assists to point guards. 9 out of 15 are over. One of them are going over. It's either going to be Castle or Paul. So that could be an avenue. But those are leans I had in terms of actual plays on the card. Let's get into that real quick, get you guys on your way. Before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Tari Eason for the Rockets, over 7.5 rebounds. I like this spot for him. If we just kind of look at the rebound lines for everybody else, it just makes sense. It kind of leans towards Tari. He's over in 4 of his last 5. Philly 27th in rebounds to power forwards. Gershon Yabusele under 6.5 rebounds. He is over this in 4 of 15 without Embiid, and they're tanking. Houston does not give up a lot of rebounds to the center position, so I like this spot for him. Cade Cunningham over 14.5 rebounds plus assists. He's only over this in 7 of his last 15, so the hit rate's not necessarily there, but I don't love his scoring matchup today. Pelicans are 21st in rebounds to the point guard position, and 18th in assists, or 28th in assists to point guards over the last 15. So great hit rates there. Julius Randle over 6.5 rebounds, where I talked about this. Great positional hit rate. Indy 28th in rebounds to the power forward position, and no Pascal Siakam. So good spot here. And then last play is going to be Harrison Barnes over 1.5 3-pointers made. Over in 5 of 8 without Wemby and Fox. Lakers 25th in 3-pointers allowed to the power forward position. And then we're going to throw Malik Monk over 5.5 assists at plus 102, I believe, on FanDuel. So that's going to be our last play. All right, appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a fantastic day. Like I said, baseball video coming out later. Make sure you guys turn the notification bell on so you see when that video comes out. Peace.